26, page 26. We'll do this today. Tomorrow you guys will work on the review. Monday we'll correct the review, and the test on this unit will be on Tuesday. Which also means if you're wanting to retake or make any corrections on the previous test, you need to do that by Tuesday as well. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to use anything else here. So, adjective phrases and adjective clauses. So first of all, let's use some of our prior knowledge here. Okay? Thank you. Let's use some of our prior knowledge about these words. So adjective. Adjective describes what? A noun or a pronoun. All right. So whatever we're talking about is going to describe a noun or a pronoun, right?
Yes.
Okay. Phrase. What do you know about phrases? Tell me what you know about phrases. What's a phrase? Ariam.
A phrase is the words that are.
What's a phrase, you guys?
Object of preposition.
That can be in a prepositional phrase. What's a phrase in general? One word, many words,
A group of words.
3 words.
a sentence,
No.
A group of words.
a group of words. Thank you. A phrase is a group of words. Is it a complete sentence?
No.
No. It does not have a subject or a verb in it. It's just a phrase. And prepositional phrases are groups of words that don't have a subject and a verb in it, okay? Clause. Does anybody remember what a clause is? Luke. Oh, really? Okay. Mariam?
Same time.
Clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate.
Thank you. A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate in it. Basically, it's a sentence, okay? But we have different types of clauses. We have, you might remember this, we have independent clauses, which if you're independent, you can make it on your own, right? You don't need anything else to help you. You're independent. So an independent clause does not need anything else to make sense. It can stand on its own. Then we have dependent clauses, which are groups of words that have subjects and verbs in them, but they're dependent. They need something else in order to make sense. Okay? So adjective clauses, or adjective, so that's what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about phrases. If they're adjective phrases, they're going to be describing something. The girl in the yellow dress, okay? A group of words in the yellow dress that's describing the girl, all right? Adjective phrase. And we're also going to be talking about adjective clauses, groups of words that have a subject and predicate that describe a noun. The girl who wore a yellow dress. Okay, now it's a clause because it has who and wore, a subject and a verb. Okay, that's going to be the difference. So, let's read. Okay, so a prepositional phrase is made up of a preposition, the object of a preposition, and any modifiers. So you guys remember prepositional phrases? Just give me some prepositional phrases. Just any prepositional phrase you can think of. Oh, that's a preposition. Give me a whole phrase. Over.
Over the bridge.
Okay. Over the bridge. Okay. Give me another one.
In the house.
In the house.
Under the box.
Over the box.
Under the box.
Under the box.
Something. Under the table.
Over the box.
Inside the school. Through the crowd. All right, very good. Okay. Groups of words that, what do you call all of these? Inside, through, over, in, under. What?
Preposition.
Prepositions. What do you call everything that ends it?
Noun.
Well, it is a noun, but what do we call it when it's in a prepositional phrase? What?
Subject.
No. What is the noun that ends the prepositional phrase? What do we call that?
Object of preposition.
Object of the preposition. These are all the so they start with a preposition, they end with an object of a preposition. Anything in between are its modifiers. So we could say under the tall bridge, in the blue house, under the big box. Okay? That's its modifiers. When they say that, it's anything in between the preposition and the object of the preposition. Okay? So, when we have, okay, so then it says a prepositional phrase can be used as an adjective. So, if we put a noun in front of these, the cars, or what? No, the plane over the bridge, the family in the blue house, the carpet under the big box, well, no, I'm trying to make these be adjective phrases. So if I said the rustling through the crowd, the kids inside the school. Okay? Now, if we had nouns in front of these, and these are describing the noun in front of them. Now, those are adjective phrases. Adjective phrases are just prepositional phrases that describe a noun in front of them. Okay? So, prepositions that begin adjective phrases include with, to, in, at, of, under, and over. I don't think you need to memorize those. I think you could look and see that they are describing a noun, right? So, in this sentence, the prepositional phrase in bright colors modifies the noun shirts. It is an adjective phrase. Shirts in bright colors are often worn by people in warm climates. So, the prepositional phrase in bright colors describes the shirts, right? That is an adjective phrase. Any questions about an adjective phrase?
So
yes.
Aren't they kind of like a positive?
a little bit, only, good, only in a positive is a noun that's, let's see. You know, I don't know. I'll use my kid again. Zach, my son who attends the U. Also works at Quick Trip.
So it's like you don't really need it there, but it's just extra info.
Yeah, notice that this is a noun. It's not a prepositional phrase. It's doing the same thing, you're right. It's describing the noun in front of it, only it's not a prepositional phrase. It's actually this noun, my son. And that's a positive phrase. So this isn't a positive. That's a good question. That's a good point, Raiden.
Because it's not a preposition.
Because this isn't a prepositional phrase.
Because the preposition needs like over, in, under, through.
Yep. Exactly. So this isn't a positive phrase that's describing Zach. These are prepositional phrases that are describing nouns in front of them. And so when it's a prepositional phrase that's describing a noun, it's an adjective phrase. Okay? Got it? Good question. Good point. And you, good question. So let's go down to exercise 1 first. Identify the adjective phrases and name the words that they're modifying. So what nouns are they describing? We can get volunteers for this, right? But there are only 5 of them. Read the sentence and tell me the adjective phrase and then what word it's modifying. Number 1. Who wants to do that? Do I need to draw sticks? Come on, volunteers. Brayden.
Our trip to Hawaii was a great success. There's 2.
2 is what? So give me the whole prepositional phrase.
To Hawaii.
To Hawaii. Awesome. That is an adjective phrase. What is it describing? Trip. Trip to Hawaii. Okay, very good, Brandon. Thank you for being the first volunteer. Number 2. Lucas? Awesome.
Would it be
Can you read the whole thing?
when we left Boston, the temperature at Logan Airport was freezing? Air phrase is the temperature at Logan Airport?
You just have a little too much there.
The temperature.
No?
Shut up. Was freezing?
Okay, look at what
Temperature.
you said. You said temperature at Logan Airport, right? What part of that is the prepositional phrase? Starts with a preposition.
Temperature?
Since the dog ran temperature the crowd, the dog ran at the crowd.
Take out the first word. It's like you can make a sentence without
You
sentence.
said a 4-word sentence.
So even if it has a comma, it doesn't mean it's
What?
the full one.
You
It has
said
to start with
temperature
a
at Logan
preposition.
Airport.
Logan Airport.
So at Logan
Oh,
Airport,
Logan.
at Logan Airport is the prepositional phrase,
No.
and it's describing what, Lucas?
It's describing the temperature.
The temperature. So the temperature that's at Logan Airport. So the adjective phrase is at Logan Airport, and the word it's modifying is temperature. Okay? Thank you for volunteering. Number 3, Ariam.
When we landed, you spoke the warmth of the Hawaiian sunshine, the heat of the Hawaiian
Of the Hawaiian
sunshine.
sunshine is the adjective phrase. What is it modifying? Warm. It's describing the warmth. Callie, number 4.
Dress a t-shirter's coat with the heavy lining coat.
Okay, so not just the heavy lining.
With the heavy lining.
With the heavy lining is the adjective phrase that's describing coat. Yes, or modifying coat. Logan, number 5.
We saw people in short sleeve shirts.
in short sleeve shirts.
is the,
Prepositional phrase.
which is, we're also calling it an
Adjective.
adjective phrase, and it's modifying
People.
people. Very good. Thank you.
I think.
Okay, you guys get it? You have to find the prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase then describes a noun in the sentence. That's an adjective phrase describing a noun. We use them all the time. What?
This makes it seem a lot more than it really is.
Yep, that's just the first part. We didn't do the second part yet.
Oh.
Okay? Those are adjective phrases. They do not have subjects and verbs in the sentence. In the group of words. They're not sentences. They do not have subjects and verbs in them. Those are adjective phrases. No subjects and verbs in there. Okay? Now we're going back up to the directions. Now we're going to talk about a clause. A clause. So those are phrases. Now we're talking about clauses. So a clause is going to do the exact same thing. The exact same thing, only it's going to have a subject and a verb in it. It's not going to be really like and it's going to be a dependent clause, meaning it needs other parts of the sentence in order to make sense. You wouldn't just say it all by itself. Okay, so a clause is, so we're in the middle of the page, right? A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate. We already said that, right? I'm going to flip around. But then I don't want to stand right now. So a clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate in it already. Okay? A dependent clause, like I said, does not express a complete thought. You couldn't say it on its own. So I said the girl who wears a yellow dress lives across the street, okay? If I just said, who wears a yellow dress, that doesn't make sense, right? You need other things, so that makes it dependent. It's not a complete thought. It couldn't stand on its own, okay? Maggie, if you want to shut that door, you can. Some dependent clauses are adjective clauses. So the one I said, the girl who wears a yellow dress, lives across the street. Who wears a yellow dress is an adjective clause because it's describing the girl. Okay? So they describe nouns. In this sentence, which has many rich cultural traditions, is a dependent clause. The dependent clause modifies Hawaii. Hawaii, which has many rich cultural traditions, is both a beautiful and an interesting place to visit. So, very much like in a positive, right? Very much. Only, it's going to have a subject and a verb in there. So, it's going to have like which, who, that, those words. Okay? Ariam, did you have a question? Okay. Got it? So you got that? So if we go, okay. Got that? So it's the same thing, only it's going to have a subject and a verb. Alright? Now, we're going to go move on to restrictive, non-restrictive. You guys already know restrictive, non-restrictive. Right? So these can be restrictive. Adjective clauses can be restrictive or non-restrictive too. So what does it mean if it's restrictive? Brayden?
I have a question. You mean Taylor had
Yeah, go ahead. What does it mean? You guys will have a practice book page and we're going to read chapter 4. Okay?
There we go.
Tommy?
It is necessary. Like, has to be
It
there.
is necessary in order to make sense. Do you put commas around it?
No.
No. If it's non-restrictive, what does that mean? doesn't have to be there. Do you put commas around it? Yes. Okay? Alright? I don't think we need to read that paragraph. Okay? So here are some examples. The shirt that I bought has red flowers on a white background. So that one, that I bought, it has a subject and a verb. I bought. Okay? So that's, and it's describing the shirt. So that's an adjective clause. It's restrictive. It has to be there so you know what shirt you're talking about, I guess. Maui, which is one of the Hawaiian islands, is a popular tourist destination. The adjective clause, which is one of the Hawaiian islands, it's a clause because it has a subject and a verb, which is in it. Let me give you a right, Nathan.
Wait, you just got called racist by Golden?
Or Nathan, wipe your table, okay? Or I'll wipe it. Huh? Because I had stuff on it. Okay, so, which is the subject, is the verb, and that is describing Maui, which is one of the Hawaiian islands, but you don't need it, Luke, we are having class. You don't need it because you already know you're talking about Maui, you're just adding the extra information, so that's non-restrictive. Okay? Question. Let's do exercise 2. In exercise 2, in each sentence, identify the adjective clause, name the noun it modifies, and then tell whether it is restrictive or non-restrictive. Are you volunteering, Callie? Awesome. Number 1.
Shirts which are colorful shirts with short sleeves are popular clothing and in many places today. The clause is which are colorful shirts with short sleeves. It's non-restrictive and it's describing shirts.
Very good. Number 2. Lucas.
The shirts were first manufactured commercially in Hawaii in 1936 by Ellie J. Chun, who named them Aloha shirts. Who named them Aloha shirt is the clause.
Yep.
And it's non-restrictive.
It is non-restrictive, and who or what is it describing?
It's describing the shirts.
No. Who named them?
Oh, Ellery J. Chun.
Yep.
I go grab my trapper paper from.
Yep. Okay. Number 3. Sierra.
An ancestor of the Aloha shirt was the 1,000-mile shirt, which was a sturdy garment worn by missionaries. The adjective clause is which was a sturdy garment worn by missionaries, and it's non-restrictive.
It's non-restrictive, and what is it modifying?
1,000-mile shirt.
Yep, 1,000-mile shirt. Good. Number 4. Luke, do number 4.
Alrighty. We're on exercise 2, right?
No, we're on exercise 4.
Yep.
Alright, number 2.
4.
Oh, 4, sorry. The Hawaiians who up to that time had not worn Western style garments, supposedly added patterns and color to the shirts. Western style garments.
Tell us the whole adjective clause.
Western style garments supposedly added patterns.
No.
Added patterns and colors to the shirts.
No. I'm going to give you a hint. The first first part that you said, the Western style garments, is part of the adjective clause.
Who up to that time had not worn Western style garments.
Yep, who up to that time had not worn Western style garments. That is the what?
Adjective clause.
Adjective clause. What is it modifying, Luke?
It's a modifying Hawaiian.
Yep, and is it restrictive or non-restrictive?
It is non-restricted.
Non-restrictive, good. You put your mask up over your nose. Thank you. Alright, number 5. Lucas, you can do it again.
Yay. Early shirts were made of
Tapa.
tapa cloth, which Hawaiians produced from the bark of the paper mulberry plant, which Hawaiians produced from the bark of the paper mulberry plant, and it's describing tapa cloth, and it's non-restricted.
Very good. We'll do one more.
Let me do it. No,
No.
please.
Sam, can you do number 6?
Patterns were taken from the native flowers and other vegetation that grew on the islands. Clause is, were taken.
No. That's just a verb.
Okay. On the
And-
islands.
Nope, that's just a prepositional phrase. Remember, it has to have, if it's a clause, it has to have a subject and a verb, but you're closer when you said on the islands. That's going to be part of the adjective clause. Now add a subject and verb to it.
Native flowers and other vegetation that grew on the islands.
Now you have too much.
Other vegetation.
No, it's connected to on the islands. So you want to be looking for words like who, which, that, who,
That
which,
grew.
that, whose,
That
who,
grew on the island.
where, what?
That grew on the island.
Yep, that grew on the island is the adjective clause. What is it modifying? Or describing?
Native flowers and other vegetation.
Okay, so just the main nouns in that phrase.
Vegetation and native flowers.
Yep, vegetation and flowers. And is it restrictive or non-restrictive?
Restrictive.
Restrictive. There's no comma there, and you needed to know which one you're talking about, of which flowers and vegetation. So guys, it is kind of important, I guess we didn't read that paragraph, that clauses are introduced by those words who, whom, whose, that, which, where, when. Those, look for those signal words, especially when you don't have commas around it. Okay? There are a few more here without commas, like if you look at number 9, at the time, celebrities such as Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley wore them in movies, and then fans who wanted to imitate these stars began to wear them also. So, who wanted to imitate these stars is the adjective clause. It's describing the fans, and it's restrictive. Okay? Alright, any other questions? Okay, I want you to do practice book page 18. It is on the other side of 17. So everybody should look to make sure you have it. Otherwise, I will have to make some copies.